Today we're finding cheap or inexpensive property for sale in Jamaica, focusing mainly on land lots. So our first property that we're going to talk about today is in Spring Park, St. Elizabeth, and it is located on about 0.28 acres of land, which is equivalent to 11,580 square feet, and it's primarily located in a neighborhood that is close to schools, transportation, and shopping centers to make everyday amenities accessible. It offers excellent access and excellent building conditions and makes perfect opportunity to design and build your home at your convenience. Now, let's take a look at the photographs because we want to see what's featured in the photos and what we should be curious about. Now, from the photographs, we are seeing greenery, vegetation. We're seeing what seems to be a fencing somewhere along this line, and that's something very important. You want to ensure that your boundaries are secure when you go to purchase. Um, we can see some rocks on this side. And want to make sure that this is not the consistency of the soil. Reason this is important is while you are buying cheap, it can become expensive for you to develop. If it is, it's a rocky area. In the back, we are able to see vehicles and homes, which does support the developing area theory and the shopping center and vegetation because there could be businesses along this line and we are able to confirm vehicular movement. In terms of poles, we know that there are caveats from certain companies for them to put electric poles along your lot. So you want to confirm whether this is something that is personal or is something that belongs to the public service company. And finally, we do have a clearer view of what developments are in the back, and this does look in terms of shape as though it were a shopping center or plaza of sorts, while we have residential dwellings seemingly along the left. For this property, it is priced at 5 million Jamaican dollars, and this could be influenced by numerous reasons. So you want to determine in terms of location when you go to do your viewing of this property, you want to determine based on their location whether or not it is more suitable for you to invest in a smaller amount of land at the same price that you would invest in more land. But what are your takeaways? What are your missing amenities? What's your travel to certain amenities like your town centers? Those are very important information to consider. The second property that we're looking at is located in Goshen, St. Elizabeth, and it is approximately half acre lot of land that is prime for residential development, and half acre of land is equivalent to 22,174 square feet or 2,060 square meters of land. Now, this property is about 11.4 kilometers away from Santa Cruz, and it offers a peaceful rural setting while maintaining convenient access to the town center's amenities. Now, let's take a dive into the photographs that are being featured. So, the first picture that we see here, we are looking at a unfinished dwelling on the left, and we are seeing what seems to be an anchorage post or pole for a GPS or public service lighting. We're also seeing that the lot is very vegetated, grown trees, greenery. We do see some lumber on this side, which would insinuate that there is some amount of cutting and usage of the trees that are on the lot. We'll see a better look at the dwelling on the left. We are also seeing here what seems to be pumpkin potentially in terms of farming, and we have a look at the road, which is marl and dirt along the side. Here we can see a little bit of what the soil consistency could be like based on what is on the left. Now, point to be concerned with or point to question your realtor about is the dwelling that is on the left. Is it included in the half acre, approximately half acre of land? Also, you want to get knowledge of how the logging that is going on the property is being maintained. Is it that someone was paying to log these trees? Have they completed that period? And that could be beneficial for you because somebody could be clearing the land for you, which would come at a cost when you go to develop. Um, so that's very pertinent information. Of course, we always say it. You want to know where your boundaries lie. And that is something that you would confirm when you are doing the purchasing. You always ensure that your surveyor comes out and confirms your boundaries for you. And they are versed in that area, so they would know how to do same. You also want to find out if the property has any sloping or if it is flat. So that will be telltale signs of how you go about dealing with your development and your potential investment on this lot. Same, we're seeing more or better um, pictures of the property. I'm also seeing what seems to be a dwelling which seems to be made from zinc on this side. That is something that you also want to query. Does it comes with the land for sale? Is it occupied? What's his relationship with the person who's occupying it? If it is occupied, is this something that you potentially have as an issue when you purchase, or is it something that is dealt with already? The other photos are just other angles of what we've seen before. Now, in terms of pricing, this property is priced at 5 million Jamaican dollars. And for half acre of land, 5 million Jamaican dollars is quite reasonable. You are also in close proximity, seemingly, to neighbors development. And here we see a much better representation of the concrete dwelling or unfinished structure that is on the property, and tells definitely that you will need to confirm your boundaries. Where does your boundary stop and where does your neighbor's boundary begin? So those are very important information to find out when you do your viewing. The next property that we are talking about today is a property located in Seventh Plantation, Clarendon, and this property is about half acre of land just the same, and for this one it is 0.52 acres, which is approximately 22,733 square feet. This one is located a few minutes away from Maypen, and it's build ready, ideally positioned for residential or investment purposes with easy access to schools, shopping, and major amenities. Here you can see a mapping representation of what the shape of the land looks like. So your boundaries seem to be quite detailed and less jagged, so it should be easy except for your boundary that um, borders the southern road. In terms of the road on the property, while it is not a main road. It seems more parochial. It has some amount of asphalt on it. There's a lot of greenery, and of course, you also want to find out what the soil consistency in this area is like. You also want to you'll also want to find out what your property slope or um, shape in terms of, is it sloping down? Do you have water running on your property? And such the like. And finally, you want to confirm your boundaries. We never stress it enough. Confirm your boundaries so you know where your property lies. From the picture before, we can see where it's not showing where any roads should be running through the property, which is a plus. It is showing where both sides of the property seems to be bordered by roads. So that is a plus for you, and you can confirm this when you go to do your viewing. In terms of pricing for this property, it is listed at $1 million as well. That's 5 million Jamaican dollars. And similar to the lot in St. Elizabeth, $5 million is quite reasonable for a lot that is half acre in size. The next property that we are looking at is located in Racecourse Clarendon, and this property is on a flat, seemingly flat area of land, and there's a mile road which could have been a subdivision road that the owner has inputted. And we are seeing on this side where there is a residential dwelling, and that shows that there's some amount of development in the area. Now, to the back of the photograph, we can see a lot of vegetation. So what we want to confirm is where the lot is located. Is it right here on the left where it is already bushed and ready for development? And where are the boundaries so that you know what you're getting into? What will be your upfront investment before you start to develop, if any? Here we have another angle of the lot, which seemingly proposes that this here is your lot. And you are able to see a few stones and such alike along the lot, which suggests that, it could be Marley or it could just be Marl from what had taken place when the road was being inputted. There are little markers right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a little stick on a and what seems to be a white paper at the top. You want to confirm if that's your lot information. For this property, and we go back, you can see that your neighbor has their boundary wall or fencing inputted. Still confirm your boundaries, make sure that there are not any encroachment or breaches on your lot. And in this photograph, you just see another angle of what the lot looks like. In terms of the sizing of this lot, it is approximately 7,107 square feet, which is not as much as many people would want to purchase. However, it is sufficient to have a decent sized house um, on there and still be able to do a little backyard farming. In terms of the price that it is being marketed at, it is currently for sale at $5 million. And in terms of what it offers, it is 20 minutes away from the highway and all major amenities that you would require to live comfortably. Our final lot in this video, where you can find cheap land for sale in Jamaica, is one that is located in Milk River, Clarendon, and it's a 3,999 square feet or about 0.09 acres of land, which is located in the scheme, and it's flat in terms of its shape and terrain, build ready, and it makes for an ideal immediate development with minimal preparation required. It's in a quiet growing community, and the property benefits from close proximity to Milk River, which for persons who know, you can enjoy that environment and serenity and tranquility. um, which would be essentially in your backyard. It has, as I said before, close proximity to the essential services, schools, shops, transportation, Maple's town capital, where majority of businesses are located. So instead of traveling to the metropolitan area, you are able to access the services there. Your tax offices, your passport offices, stuff like that. In terms of what the property looks like, the photographs are not great quality. However, you can see that the community is developed, and the lot in question would be here on the right, and the neighbors along the line on both sides of the house road, because it is a housing scheme. And the next angle, which features the property on the left, you can still see that there are neighbors to the front, to the side, and what you want to confirm in this, as any other property, where are my boundaries? What's my terrain? What's my soil like? How much do I need to invest in the development of this property? In terms of the price for this property, it is priced at 4 million Jamaican dollars. And in terms of where it is located, this goes Hummingbird Drive in the Pride's housing scheme, and the property is located here. And from this aerial photograph from the map, you are able to see what the community development is like. So you can see that to the left, there's an unfinished structure and there is more space for new neighbors to come in. But to your right, in front and beyond, you are able to see that there are many dwellings, showing that the community is quite developed. Now, on the left, there seems to be the body of water, and you want to query, especially with your neighbors, how does that affect you? Is there a slope here? Does it overrun? Those are very pertinent information that any buyer, first time or otherwise, would need to know in order to ensure that their investment is secure. And that's it for this video. Hope that it was informative. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. And that's it for this property located in Spring Park Meadows, St. Elizabeth.